incredible tool that is used for the early evaluation of pregnancy, diagnosis of heart disease, cancer. Like ultrasound's a new stethoscope. So that's where we're starting, enabling sonographers, those ultrasound specialists, to perform exams on patients over distance. Our bigger vision is to develop a platform that connects any medical device to a remote specialist, enabling those specialists to treat patients over distance, not just for ultrasound, but for all types of care delivery. And so that's what I'm really excited about, because that's going to lead to lower cost, on-demand access for patients everywhere for whatever they need. And so that's our long-term goal. I'm not sure what your second.
Like what do you focus on right now?
What we're focused on right now is going from our current beta, which we already have, to our MVP, and then taking that MVP through FDA clearance next year, and then taking our product to market shortly after that.
And I guess your big dream is to have everyone have equal access to care in the future.
Everyone to have equal access to care, no matter where they are, no matter what they look like. They deserve equal access, and we're creating that.
And so your remote people, where are they going to be located at? Just different places.
Yeah, different places. So one of the beauties of this is we're changing the way we're changing the workforce. And so when you look at sonographers, these are folks who tend to live in big cities like Seattle. They drive into work. When they are treating patients, they'll go into the room. They'll have to get in these really weird angles to like reach over patients and scan them. They get a bunch of gel on their hands. They got to clean up the gel. And when they're doing this remote robotically, they can wake up, have a cup of coffee, work from home, grab a controller, beam into the hospital with the next patient, perform that exam from the comfort of their desk in an ergonomically comfortable configuration, and then drink their next cup of coffee and do the next patient. And so really these folks can live anywhere now and treat patients anywhere, and that's a significant.
And how do you make sure these people keep up to speed on the skills they need?
Yeah, just through exams, exam after exam, and through our platform, we'll be tracking the exams that they perform, and different metrics about the procedures.
And then, how about this scenario? Like, suppose there's a patient, we're saying Alabama, right? And they're like, hey, can you tell me where the person is located at, right? Yeah, that's something you would tell the patient, or you're like, no, you don't need to know that.
We'll have the ability to tell them, but really, I think that'll come out in preferences and just getting our product out there and seeing how people respond to it.
So, follow-up question.
Yeah.
Let's suppose they say, I want to know where this person at, and you say they're from California. I don't want no motherfucker from California doing my shit.
Yeah.
You know, like what happens then? You know, like you're like, ma'am, I'm sorry, but the guys from California, they like refuse to do it, right? Or you're like, okay, we have someone from, I don't know, Colorado do it, right?
First off, I'd ask them to not curse at me. But no, I mean that's one of the benefits of telerobotic is that we can align with patient preferences, and so whether it's geographic based, state based, or gender based, if you're getting a breast exam, you want a woman to do that.
Yeah.
Because we'll have this large pool of sonographers, this large workforce to choose from, we can better align patient preferences with the workforce in ways that can't be done today.
How specialized is the skill to be a sonographer?
These are brilliant folks.
They have to go to school, certification, stuff like that?
Yeah, they go to school for 2 to 3 years. And
so it's like a medical tech thing?
Yeah, and it's all about, well, not all about, but a big part of it is about how so for example, during a cardiac exam, you've got to take this ultrasound probe and shine it at a very specific angle between the ribs to get to get an image of the heart at a very specific angle, and then capture that for a remote physician that's going to review that later to then diagnose that patient. And so you've got to know what you're doing. You've got to know what you're looking at. You've got to know how to manipulate that probe. You've got to know how to communicate with the patient to have them hold their breath or at the right times. And there's different anatomy all across the body that looks different. And so it's a very high skill requirement to do that job.
I always think obviously you want 100% success rate, but it was like an acceptable failure rate for this.
Yeah, I mean, on par with sonography today. So not every patient that comes in gets a successful ultrasound exam.
Different body types, different whatever it is.
Different body types, different patient anatomy, different sonographer skill set, and so all of that and more sort of results in the success rate that we have today. And our goal is to at least be on par with that and eventually exceed that.
So I guess it's considered like what's called a blue collar skill. Instead of white, that's white collar skill, blue collar skills. Like these be considered like maybe like be a plumber or electrician.
Are you saying will they eventually be, or
are they right now? Yeah.
No. I think this is a highly skilled.
Okay.
These are highly skilled technicians that.
And they go to college for this, or like certain trade schools they go to?
Yes, at trade schools.
Okay.
So there are like sonography schools in Bellevue, and Spokane, for example, that specifically focus on training sonographers.
I'm guessing they paid a pretty decent amount of money too.
Yeah, pretty decent.
Pretty specialized.
Yep.
Is there a shortage in these skill sets?
So that's actually interesting. A lot of people talk about the shortage. There's not actually, at least in the U.S., there's not a shortage of sonographers. There's a distribution problem.
Big difference.
Yeah, big difference. And so when you look at like,
you said most of them are big cities, right? So
exactly. So there's lots in big cities.
Scoot up just a little bit.
Yeah, my bad.
Okay.
Lots of sonographers in big cities, less sonographers in rural areas. And so what happens is patients in rural areas all drive to the big cities to get care, and that creates these long lines and all this stress on sonographers in big cities, and so everybody loses. But now through telerobotics, when we distribute care, now we can enable every sonographer everywhere to have a level load, and so then we can distribute the patient demand over that whole sonographer workforce.
So Ryan, how does Doppel succeed? How are y'all successful in the future? Or now?
Yeah, we're successful by helping patients access the care that they need, and so we're succeeding right now by hiring sonographers and driving them out to rural hospitals to perform in-person exams. That's the outreach services that we have today. We'll be successful next year when we roll out our telerobotic system in a few hospitals in Washington. We'll be successful after that when we scale up through our first rural hospital network, who we have an LOI from, worth $120 million in annual revenue, and then we'll be successful when we scale across the U.S. and in foreign countries and start to roll out full autonomy. So that's sort of how I look at our go-to-market from a success perspective.
All right, follow-up question. What has to happen for you to say, okay, this isn't working, I need to shut this down?
Yeah, that's a real question. And I think just being real with ourselves, looking at always looking at what we've built and the market dynamics and what our strategy is, and just trying to be as real as we can with ourselves about what's working and what's not working. Everything that we've seen today is pointing towards this like massive opportunity. And so when we get there, as we make progress, we just have to be real with ourselves, make sure we're still pointing in the right direction.
How you do this, right? Like, suppose someone on your team comes to you with an idea, right? You're like, man, this is kind of like not a good idea, right? Like, how do you do that? Like, do you say like, give them feedback, like, and give them the reason not a good idea, or you stumble a bone, like, go try it for a little bit and we come back to it? Like, how do you work with that?
Yeah. situational. I always try to foster ideas. I try to never shut down an idea. I know what that feels like, and I think there are incredible ideas that are born out of ideas that originally were not that great.
Yeah.
I'm gonna try to use positive language there.